everybody, and welcome to Wine Library TV. I am your host, Gary Vaynerchuk, and this, my friends, is the Thunder Show, aka the internet's most passionate wine program. And as you can see with the way I started with hello and that cracky voice, I don't think I'm going through puberty. I used it all yesterday in the stunning, shocking, playoff beard intact victory over the San Diego Chargers. Cab drinker, I am so sorry. All you other Charger fans, I apologize. You have a wonderful team, and I wish you nothing but the best next year. But as one of the fans who was razzing me early in the game, Mott just asked me off camera, did he get into any fights? Not really, but one guy, one row back, 6 seats over, kind of looked at me after they scored the first touchdown, went up 7-0. He said, "You're going home." I, as a smart road playoff veteran, I've been to like 9 games now, I just sat there quietly because I don't want to get kicked out of the stadium. But clearly, when the game was over, I did run right over to him and say, "You were right, I am going home with a victory." He wasn't happy, Mott. And as you can see, I've got some guests. And ironically, this is all Mott. There's so much karma in the air. These two fine-looking gentlemen are here because of football. Guys, why don't you tell the Vayner Nation who you guys are and how you got here? I think a bunch of them will remember.
I am Nick Lambert. I'm from Minneapolis, Minnesota.
I'm Brian Rounce. Friends call me Beeper. From
Nice!
Pierre, South Dakota.
Beeper.
It's Pierre, not Pierre. Tell your friends.
All of them, because I'm sure that's a huge topic of conversation.
Right.
Nice.
And we're here because we guessed the score to the football game, which was at, like...
How many weeks ago was that? Maybe like 2 months ago?
2 months, yeah, something like that,
November.
yeah.
If you remember, if you've been watching long enough, and most of you have, we did a predict the score weekend where you could pick any game, predict the score, and if you were right, you would be guessed. And of all the entries, hundreds and hundreds of entries, only 2 people were correct. They picked the same game, the Vikings game. And now they're here. And ironically, the Vikings are still in the playoffs. And the Vikings quarterback, Mott, I don't know if you remember, his name is Brett Favre. You might have heard of him once or twice. He was the Jets quarterback last year. And Mott, the Jets have not been in the AFC Championship game since 1998. I went to Denver. And ironically, the Vikings were in the 98 NFC Championship game. But we both lost. I have a feeling we're both going to win. And Mott, I will then go directly to Miami. I will literally leave Indianapolis, cancel 2 weeks worth of meetings, and go directly to Miami because I need to get settled in for my Jets to be in the Super Bowl. Guys, thanks for being on the show, man. I'm pumped.
Thank you.
I am fired up. And now, yeah, please.
And the weird thing about it is we live in Minneapolis, and I'm not a Vikings fan. I guess the Vikings score. I'm not even a professional football fan.
You're just a hardcore Vaniac.
Yeah, and it was just completely random. Yeah, I'm a basketball fan, a Bulls fan.
A Bulls fan?
Yeah, and that's it.
And you?
Well, if you live in South Dakota, then you're either a Packers fan or a Vikings fan.
That must be a big stomp. That must be a big war zone.
Yeah, well, I guess eastern South Dakota. The other side is Denver. But for most of my friends and family are Vikings, Packers, and
maybe
they're
Jets
huge
now?
rivals. So.
No, no.
Yeah.
No, you're like, no. And but you're a Vikings fan.
Oh yeah.
And so you're excited about what's happening?
Big time, yes. Finally.
You guys are ready for the big game.
Excited to lose another Super Bowl. Probably.
I know you guys have lost a lot of them. Okay, now which one did you pick, wine-wise? We got it lined up probably or no?
Neither of us really picked either. We were just whatever sounded
Both Roan
interesting.
fans.
Yeah.
Got it. So you guys collaborated.
Yeah.
Before we got on the show, they showed up. K Murph, I was like, let them go pick up 2 wines. So you guys collaboed on this.
Yeah, I mean, we were both into the Rhone, and then we were just like, whatever you think's interesting, whatever you want to put on the show. So,
And then
And some celebratory.
I see what you guys did. I like that. All right, so let's pour this. Oh, nice. Now, Mott, thank you so much for coming in. Word on the street is you're a little bit under the weather.
Yeah, a little bit.
Did you lose your voice during the Jets game yesterday?
No, but I did enjoy it.
You rooted
It
for
was
the Jets.
It was a good football game to.
Are you rooting for
From
the
a fan.
Jets?
I root for the Jets like you root for the Giants.
So you hate them?
I don't hate them.
Oh.
I mean, I don't. I wish them well.
Well,
but
you know
I'm
what?
not going to jump on the bandwagon.
Right. But you root for the New York team?
Yeah.
Ma, but I'm not that good of a person. I don't like the Giants.
Well, I know.
But you know what? There's a reason. It's like the Yankees-Mets thing. If I was a Giants fan, I promise you with all my heart that I would root for the Jets. Because we're the superior franchise. Seriously. I was a Yankees fan, and I did root for the Mets when they had shots because we were the superior franchise. But the Jets, this is a big deal. I don't know if you know.
Yeah, I kind of have an idea.
Yeah, this is a big deal. Like this show all week is gonna be almost unwatchable to anybody that can't deal with Jets talk. Anyway, the Veuve Amber Cremant de Bourgogne Brut. And, this comes from Burgundy, made in the Champagne style, and it's made out of the Aligoté, Chard, and Pinot Blanc with a little bit of Gamay, 12% alcohol, $12. The Cremant, Champagne Method style wines are very interesting to me because they're very well priced. And especially when they come from France, whether it's Burgundy, you see a lot of them come from the Loire Valley, they can be great financial alternatives to Champagne. And they often can be very, very good, and I'm excited about trying this. I've been wanting to actually try this exact wine, so I'm glad we picked it. And thank you for the theory of doing it celebratory, since I'm in a very good mood.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was K-Murph's idea, but is that regular?
It's like a good South Dakota guy. He didn't take the credit. Like, K-Murph was really the one who gets the credit.
Is that normal to have Gamay in?
Red wines don't often go into sparkling wine is what people think, but when you think about Champagne, 2 to 3 core grapes are red. Pinot Noir and Pinot Meunier. It's the skins, and so yeah, I would say. And Gamay.
What percent of that does it say?
It's the smallest percent.
Yeah.
When wineries, we got the information from their website. When wineries put blends on their labels or website, when they put in an order, that if they don't break it down by percentage, it's still in the order of most. To the blend. So let's give it a snippy sniff. Why don't you tell the Mainer Nation how long you've been watching the show? I know you've been watching a while because I saw you on my first book tour.
Yeah. I'm not sure exactly when the date was, but it was the Slate article.
Oh, the Slate article. Do you know the Slate article was the same day I was on Conan?
Yeah, I do. I remember I read the article, and then I was actually in a bar, and they had Conan on the TV, and I was like, I just watched that guy's show today. And then I was
That's crazy. So that was August 7, maybe 2007. That's 2007. That's a long time. Yesterday.
I'm not really sure. I guess how long ago it was, but I think it's maybe like the late 400s or so episode. And it seems like Veronica Belmont did a feature on you and Mahalo Daily or something like that.
Yep.
And
that's
and I was watching that all the time, and that's how I got onto it.
Love it. Both teched out. Slate and Veronica Belmont. Love it. All right, let's do a little snippy snip. Oh, God, it's so weird, man. I have a mustache now. There's like the snippy snip hurts. The playoff period's coming in, man. I'm feeling good about it.
Your voice is wrecked.
Oh, man. Mott, I was chanting, "We're not leaving." We had all these Jet bands, and we were chanting Super Bowl and all these different things. But, of course, me being the kind of character I am, I wanted to start new chants. So I started to chant, "We're not leaving." And then everybody started. It was awesome. It was awesome. Anyway. Sorry. What are you guys getting on the nose?
Kind of a coconut and banana.
I get the coconut quite a bit, actually.
Yeah. I
get less of the banana.
I was having trouble until you said that, but now definitely.
Getting a little. I also get a little bit of a pear apple kind of thing. It's very green that way, like green fruits.
I get the apple.
The coconut really comes through. All right, let's give it a whirl. I'm in such a good mood. I might even drink the champagne. Sparkling wine, Cremant. What do you guys think? Let's give it a little more taste if you want. They don't spit in South Dakota, do they?
No.
And I mean, I have a lot less experience with tasting sparkling wines, just
Okay.
because, I mean, good ones tend to be
Pricey.
a lot further out of my price range than I'm willing to go on a.
Do you ever drink Cava or Prosecco?
Yeah.
Ben? You're not a huge sparkling guy?
I just don't drink it as much as I would even like to. I just don't think of it a lot of times when I'm like, what am I going to get to drink tonight?
Sure.
Like, I'll just be like,
Which is a big thesis if you've been hearing me yapping about it kind of lately.
Absolutely.
Which is like, I'm desperate. And that's what I love about this. This is $12. And, not that I would say this is the greatest sparkling wine I've ever had. And I don't know, let's start with this. Do you like this? Hate it? Where are you at?
I like it. It's kind of
solid,
just normal.
Yeah.
I mean, it's champagne to me.
Yeah.
Nothing special.
Yeah. I mean, it just kind of tastes like I would imagine.
Do you like it? Like let's start with this. Would you drink it? Like, if you had this at home, would you drink it? Honestly.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
Would you drink anything?
I wouldn't go looking for it though. Yes, basically, I found like 3 or 4 wines that I would not drink.
But you wouldn't seek this out.
No.
And do you like How about for you? Do you like sparkling wine?
I don't.
Meh.
It's meh.
It's meh. You know, for me, I like it a lot, and what I like about this is sparkling wine, and I think this one's solid. You know, it's probably like an 85, 86 point wine to me, which is, you know, not unbelievable, but at $12 US for sparkling wine, you know, you're talking about a price point that's difficult to obtain in sparkling wine out there that's serviceable. You know, for me, what I think is fascinating about this is if we were to have maybe some sushi, uni, you know, for example, do you eat uni?
Yes.
How about you? Not a big thing in South Dakota?
We're pretty far from
Anyone? Yeah, fair enough. So what? You're 2 hours. He was saying off camera, they're 2 hours away from their local high school games. That was pretty intense. I was trying to brag that I was 40 minutes out that way. He came back much stronger. He's like, yeah, I had to go to my high school football game was 6 hours away. So that was pretty intense.
No, but yeah, I'm a big sushi fan. I can see this.
So, like,
this working really well.
Absolutely, sushi, Thai food. You know, there's so many food pairings for sparkling wine where, and you said it perfectly, where we don't think of it.
Yeah.
And what I'm desperate, Mott, should we do a whole month of just sparkling wine? Like, maybe I need to make a point.
Yes.
Yeah, that'll be a little side question. What do you guys think about that? I mean, I think that, you know, I've been flirting with it, but I think it's time to make a stand here because I really want people to start thinking about sparkling wine in the rotation. And I could see a world, I dream of a world, where we're drinking a sparkling wine for every 2 or 3 whites that we drink. And right now, I have a good feeling. Here's the question of the day. In the middle, we rarely do this, Mod. Oh, actually, they're supposed to ask. Forget it. But here's my little one. You can answer 4 today. We have a new comment section. It's awesome. How many sparkling wines for every red and white do you drink? How about you guys? Is it like the norm? Like I think 300 to 1.
Like I probably drink 4 or 5 bottles a year, like
of sparkling wine.
Yeah.
And how many other wines?
I probably like 2 or 3 bottles of wine a week. So that's nothing. I mean,
right. Yeah,
it's
so
barely. It's barely even on. I mean, it's just like
150, 200.
It's a party
right.
thing. Like
yeah.
That's it, and that's.
Yeah, I'm saying about 201. So.
Yeah.
Not very often at all. Mostly just around New Year's.
Yeah.
You're drinking 2 to 3 wines a week.
Yeah, something like that.
And how about you?
2 probably.
Yeah. And on the weekends or?
Mostly weekends, but sometimes
Yeah, about the same.
And how about other beverages? Do you drink a lot of beer?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like craft beers and that sort of thing. Yeah.
How about you?
Light beers.
Like Miller Lite?
Miller Lite.
Yeah,
Light.
yeah.
Mostly red beer. Apparently that's not everywhere.
Like what?
Light beer and tomato juice.
This is brilliant. Hold on, Mott. Zoom in here. Just give me 1 second.
I've had it.
I've been in the liquor industry my whole life. Basically since I was 15 years old. I know how to use Google, and I look at things. I try to pay attention to the world. Are you telling me that you drink beer mixed with tomato juice?
Yeah.
And it's called red beer?
Red beer.
Have you ever heard of this?
I've never heard of that.
I have never heard of this. I've never heard of this in my entire life. I feel so insanely caught off guard.
So you get like the the little can of tomato juice.
Like the gold one?
Yeah. You just put the whole thing in a cup.
Okay.
And then pour the beer on 1 can of beer on top, and then green olives. And it's like.
It's like a Bloody Mary with beer?
Yeah, but it's not as spicy, and it's.
Can you put spice?
Yeah, some people actually do like they can their own tomato juice with like jalapenos or.
Wait a minute, and so this is like a big thing?
Yeah. Well, like. What was it? I was in Las Vegas in April, and
right.
I ordered one because it's kind of like a hangover drink. Most people drink.
And I knew
like
what it was.
Noon. No, I ordered it, and they're like, "What?" I said, "You mix tomato juice and beer."
And were they as baffled as I am right now?
Yeah, and everybody at our table was just laughing because this waitress in Las Vegas had never heard of it. So.
But all of you guys knew what it was.
Oh yeah.
I have no idea.
Mott, that is legitimately, you know what? The Jets are winning the Super Bowl.
That's
a sign.
That's
Because I now know what red beer is. Brilliant. I've never heard of that. I have no idea how I've never heard of that.
I don't either.
We may have to do that on the show, Mott. I might have to do a red beer tomorrow on the show. I just might have to. All right. 85 points, good acid in the mid palate. There's a little, that classic yeasty, bready thing going on. A little bit of apple, a little pear. Doesn't have the complexity, the dynamic aspect that you see in top flight sparkling wines. But I'm telling you, if your palate is not immature, but newbie-esque to sparkling wines, I think you're going to find this quite serviceable. I think it's pretty darn good. And very, very solid for the price point. Very attractive in the QPR aspect for me. So let's dump this. Let's move on. Okay. Now, you guys said that you're both into Rhone.
Yes.
That's good, because I love the Rhone Valley as well. And what are some of your favorite wines, or what stands out for you? You love Grenache?
Just like as far as grapes, or
just like Chateauneuf de Pop, or this wine once and
Chateauneuf de Pops are a little
too big, too pricey.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm a young guy.
I hear you.
Like
I'm a young guy too. What are you saying?
No,
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
It's the beer. Just the beer.
Yeah, I know.
You can fool me. Just kidding. But yeah, it's just a wine that yeah.
Gigondas?
I
Never. Crow's Hermitage? Maybe one or two?
Yeah, like.
And how about for you?
I'm about the same. I've had a couple bottles of Chateauneuf de Pop, but it's my high end.
And
$30 is quite.
And for you, if the football games are 2 hours away, what about the wine shops? What's the selection situation? You have Haskell's in some of these places, right?
Yeah, and I mean, there's a lot of
Skirnick's
and even there's just like a lot of small
shops
Minnesota,
around. There's a lot of wine scene in Minnesota. But how about for you?
Yeah,
Internet?
You can't ship into South Dakota.
Okay.
Like in Pierre, we have one municipal
Not
liquor
Pierre.
store. Not Pierre.
Right, Pierre.
Like peer pressure.
Yep.
Yeah.
You better drink that red beer. That's
one municipal liquor store.
And
I went and requested like
8 billion
a list.
Right,
and a month later, I got a call back and gave me the prices on 2 wines, and it's not serviceable. So it's
challenge.
When you make it to Haskell's, if you ever make it as far as Minneapolis, then you can bring 4 back across the border at a time.
4 bottles?
Yeah, so that's a lot.
But really, you're bringing back like 4 cases, right?
Yeah, nobody's checking.
I wouldn't say.
I hear you. You don't want to put it on record. But really, okay. Montour's 2004 Les Clos Vacaras, 50% Grenache, 50% Syrah, 91 points Wine Spectator, and at a very attractive price point of $20 US. We continue to scream about Rhone Valley. 04 has a little maturity to it. Obviously, 07 is the vintage that everybody's going bonkers over. Vacaras continues to be a part of the world that I think brings tremendous value. One of these appellations that doesn't get the street cred of a Côte Rôtie or Hermitage or Chateauneuf de Pop, maybe not even Cornas, but continues with Gigondas to be one of those really interesting parts for me that you can get tremendous value, and I'm very excited about tasting this wine. So let's sniff it up. There's a lot going on in the nose. Do you like that?
Yeah, definitely.
What are you picking up? Fire away, boys.
Kind of a plum, maybe almost like fig.
I'm very impressed. I picked up both those nuances. All that red beer's coming through for the palate. Wow. Nice job, man. That's a good job.
Yeah.
But don't be intimidated. Bring something here. There's one component he didn't say that I think is massively coming through.
Pressure's on.
Yeah, I figured I'd get you with that. Want me to jump in?
Yeah, go for it.
No problem. So the big thing that I really think I'm picking up on this is a little bit of a, pepper meets Slim Jim. I don't know if you ever had a Slim Jim.
I love Slim Jim.
Yeah, I knew you would. So I think Slim Jims are awesome. I'm huge on beef jerky, and this has like that. You love beef jerky?
No, it's this. That's
Slim
exactly
Jim,
what
right?
it
Yes,
is.
Right?
Yeah, for sure.
This wine smells. If you've ever snapped a Slim Jim, like the Macho Man Randy Savage has, then you know exactly what I'm talking about, because it hit me so hard. I was like, you get like caught off guard. That being said, it has a very distinct plum component, and on the tail end, there is a mix here of like maybe some black olives with some fig. I thought that was very well done.
I was thinking olive juice too. I swear to God,
Dude, then why were you scared?
Because I didn't think...
You watch the show enough to know that if you said it wrong, I wouldn't have killed you.
Yeah.
That was a misplay by you, because the upside was huge, because I would have been like, great job, huge, the guys came in and stunned the world, and the downside wasn't big.
Yeah.
I would have just been like, it's like, I always tell my friends, just go up to the girl, what's going to happen? She'll say no, sure, your self-esteem will hurt, but God, maybe she might say yes.
Yeah. And
the upside's greater than the downside.
And that Slim Jim smell that you were describing there, it's something that I do smell a lot, but I don't ever really think of how to classify that.
Because it doesn't come to you, or because you don't think of Slim Jims conceivably being in wine?
Well, a lot of times I just don't think of it in those terms. I just, it's there, but I'll come up with some other
more classic term.
Yeah, or something that's just close to it that I've read.
Because you're worried that some of the people are gonna be like, Slim Jim, what the hell, dude?
Yeah, exactly.
But then can't you be like, well, that crazy guy Gary on Wine Library TV says it. Well, that's why I'm doing this show, so that you can say Slim Jim.
All right, I'm gonna start saying Slim Jim.
Nice.
That's the deal.
We've accomplished something here, Mott. Mott, the Jets are playing the Vikings in the Super Bowl. I'm feeling it here. Mott, I'm feeling it here. I'm pumped. Okay, let's give it a whirl. The black pepper is also coming through for me quite a bit. It continues to swirl on the nose. Talk to me.
I don't like it as much.
Good. Honesty is the best policy. Too dry. Too bitter.
Bitter.
It is bitter.
There's not a lot of fruit, really.
No, there's not. I mean, this wine is dominated by tannins.
Yeah, I expected more of like a strawberry or blueberry.
Jammy.
Yeah.
And do you think that's because it's too young, or do you think...
I like it, but this is classic. I would never buy this wine for Wine Library had it not been scored.
And I don't necessarily dislike it. I was just surprised.
It's austere. I mean, this is a difficult wine to consume.
Yeah.
This is massively complicated. Not saying that their palate should like it and mine's better. It has nothing to do with that. It's just complicated. It's disjointed. It's awkward and complicated. It's kind of like, you know how a guy when he's 41 with some gray hairs and he's a complicated character with some wrinkles, he's distinguished. He's a little bit more interesting. But that same dude that kind of gets credit, he's mysterious and distinguished and knowledgeable, and maybe there's some people that like that style. That same dude at 16 was a jerk off and was an outcast. And that's how I look at this wine. It's got some serious things going on that I think could be really respected and enjoyed and appreciated maybe in another 2 or 3 years. It's not its youth, though. I wouldn't say it's young. It's just awkward right now. It's complicated and awkward. And that's a very, difficult thing to be in high school.
Absolutely.
And that's what I think this wine's doing. It's got this really intense kind of Venice-y kind of meatiness to it. The tannins are bitter. There is no, it doesn't matter how many times you're going to sip it, right? It's
still bitter.
It's bitter. You're not going to get used to it. There's also almost like a pine cone, evergreen kind of forest floor, almost minty, but not really. I mean, just kind of very difficult flavor components, but they're very distinct. The finish is quite long. I still taste it. The problem for most people is you don't want to taste it anymore. And so that's kind of what's interesting about this wine. Often you'll hear me on the show say, the wine's delicious. And this has E-T-S, Jets.
I never met him.
You never met him?
No.
He's a Devils fan.
You are a devil?
Huge. We're doing a show here.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No problem. So,
Enjoy yourself.
thanks, Dad. So, it's really, often we'll talk about a wine and we'll say, it has a delicious factor. This is the other way.
It almost, I'm not a smoker, but it feels like, on the finish, it feels like I just, smoked a cigarette, kind of. It has, this weird sort of,
film left in
yeah.
I think it kind of finishes, after, a minute.
That's a very interesting picture you painted there. I like it.
After a minute, I get, a Kalamata olive type of, that's...
The olive is
smell
there.
Comes through.
The olive smell and flavor definitely comes through. I think there's olive juice in this wine that's very obvious to me. yeah, it's kind of, the tobacco plays kind of interesting. I actually envision maybe dip, that kind of thing going on. Do people dip in South Dakota?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, right? Go hunting, right? Shoot some deer, dip some dip. Dip some dip.
I'm not one of them, so.
That's good.
It's,
That's good, because that stuff causes cancer.
mouth cancer.
It's scary, right?
Yeah, and you get
You
the
look like,
stuff in your
it's like,
teeth.
yeah, it's a mess. I like this wine. It's difficult, it's awkward, but it's charming, and I think it's actually a wine that would do very well with food. I think that by itself, its lack of deliciousness will hurt it for people, as we're seeing here. That being said, I think it's quite interesting and very well made in lieu of its awkwardness right now, that I do think it's actually in a complicated phase right now. I have a very curious feeling and suspicion that this wine was better a year ago. I think we're going through a little bit of a close down phase here, and I'm very curious what this wine does in 2 or 3 years, maybe 4 or 5. I'm going to score 89 plus points, which is solid. I think based on the delicious factor, and I bet you these guys on their scale, without understanding it, would have it the low 80s, high 70s, because really the deliciousness is just not there. You're not tasting. This wine is not for people that are looking for fruit, because it's not here. But I do like it. I like wines that bring this kind of, provocative thought to my mind. That sounded kind of awkward, Mont. More like challenging. It's a challenging wine, and I like that because so many wines just kind of roll the course.
If you were gonna have this with food, if you could taste this first and then decide what you're going to make, for food,
With
do it
food?
kind of backwards, what would you?
I would have this
ideally
with lamb chops and butternut squash.
All right, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, you like that? You're hungry?
Lamb chops, yeah.
I'm hungry, man.
No, it seems, yeah, I
Let's
can
go
see where
shoot
you're
some
going.
deer and
Pheasants.
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 Yeah? Is that what you go after?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Are they hard to get?
Well, it depends where you go.
Yeah.
If you got good land, or actually there's a lot of good public land in South Dakota too.
How about the college football and basketball scene?
Just
Who do you guys
starting to
root
go
for?
D1, so it's,
Yeah.
Well, I went to NDSU, so I'm
Yeah.
a Bison fan.
Bisons, baby.
All my relatives went to SDSU, so
Oh, so you guys are...
Jackrabbits.
Oh,
not-
bison
not
will kill a
Sandy.
jackrabbit any day, right?
We'll find out.
Yeah. Okay. Guys, thank you so much for being on the show.
It's
And
awesome.
congratulations on winning the contest.
Thank you.
Clearly, none of the other Maniacs had the football knowledge
Yeah,
that you
that's
guys
my
have
department.
had. And you guys have both watched long enough, so you get to both ask a separate question of the day. So why don't you go first this time?
All right.
Have you given it some thought?
Oh, I've thought about it.
How about you?
A little bit.
I'm pretty passionate about music, so
Ooh,
play guitar, drums, and stuff like that.
musician.
Not really, but
You like to think so?
I like to think so.
Yeah. That's what I do here every day, so don't worry.
But I'm really into kind of old music, like
Okay.
70s and blues.
You just really hurt 90% of the viewers' feelings. Like that real old music in the 70s, There are some devastating... That is going to be... Mott, I know there's several people making highlight reels. Please clip that, because that's going to hurt feelings. And that's
Take it
what I'm
from
all
the
about.
archives,
I
yeah.
love that. No, that was good.
But
That was
no,
good.
But
No,
they
no,
got,
that's...
but
that's
they got
what-
to live through it. That's not
Yeah,
fair to
listen,
me.
I get it.
So that's kind of my favorite music, and
What's your favorite band or artist?
so that was one of the questions I was thinking about asking.
Sorry.
But
Yeah, you should do that.
but
You should do that.
but
Do you have your own?
I don't have my own. I mean,
don't?
it changes week to week.
I like that.
But I'd say probably.
For me, it's either the Spice Girls or Lionel Richie. I'm joking, but not Lionel Richie. Love him.
Yeah.
All right, so
I would say Led Zeppelin, but
Yeah.
So, my question then is are people still making good music? And if so, do you have an example for me?
Mott, you're saying no?
No.
Clearly, you haven't listened to Lady Gaga.
Yeah, I've listened.
Really not.
Clearly, you don't know.
I
her.
want to stick an ice pick in my ear.
Oof. Don't diss Gaga. Okay.
Okay.
Good one. You'll get a lot of answers for that.
Mine-
Music's very popular right here.
Well, we won this, for me at least, completely by random. It was just a
Right.
guess.
You've never
A
watched
guess.
a football game. in
I
your
mean,
life.
I've watched I'll pay attention to the playoffs.
Have you ever
but-
watched a football game coast to coast?
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay.
But I don't have a team. I don't have, I'm a basketball fan. So, anyways, so it's completely by chance. So my question of the day is, what is the best thing you've ever won in a game of chance? It could be a literal a literal like gambling thing.
Can like spin the bottle count?
Yeah, absolutely. Or it could be like a figurative
Susie.
game of chance.
Okay.
But what's the best thing you've ever won in a game of chance?
That's a good one. You did give us that. That's
A little
really
bit,
good thought.
yeah.
I like that. All right, and so begins a week of nothing but pure and utter joy for me, not for you, cab drinker, and all you other Charger fans, or Patriot fans, Steeler fans, Giant fans, and lots of people home. Jets are not one of them. We continue on the magical tour that is going to put the largest smile on my face in the history of my life outside of the birth of Misha. You, with a little bit of me, we're changing the wine world, whether they like it or not.